Psychologist Abraham Maslow described a peak experience as transcendent moments of pure joy and elation. For me, last evening's performance of the Omaha Symphony was indeed transcendent. The program was filled with glorious Romantic-era pieces played in a first-rate fashion in a superb acoustical environment. If you love the sheer sound of a large symphony orchestra, including a piano and organ, playing lush, beautiful melodies and harmonies, with great musicianship, then this program was made for you. Cutting edge, it was not. Accessible, charming, and thrilling, it was. Returning to the podium of Omaha's Holland Performing Arts Center was guest conductor, Grammy Award-winning, Joanne Falletta. She was the first woman appointed to be music director of a major American symphony orchestra, the Buffalo Philharmonic. Most important, she can lead an orchestra to create sensational, powerful performances. The program began with Hector Berlioz's 1838 work, The Roman Carnival, a piece extracted from his failed opera Benvenuto Cellini. The carnival begins with a full orchestral flourish, which is followed by an aria-like section that eventually leads to a brilliant, full orchestral climax. Falletta kept tight control of the work's dynamics. The introduction was restrained just enough so that the eventual finale still had room to grow and blossom. The Omaha Symphony's trombone and woodwind sections were outstanding throughout. Next on the program was Tchaikovsky's 1878 Violin Concerto, which is arguably the most performed and beloved violin concerto ever written. The downside of its popularity is that it is so frequently played that it risks becoming passé and uninteresting. The violin soloist for this performance was Blake Pouliot, a 25-year-old Canadian who has been praised for his musical and technical abilities. But could he really achieve anything new in this oft-heard concerto? Could he and conductor Falletta work together well enough to reinvigorate our interest? The answer to both questions was a strong yes. Pouliot and Falletta seemed to share a common vision of the work, and it was a perfectly synchronized and integrated performance. Pouliot's bow-wing technique was phenomenal. There was never scratchiness or inaccuracies transitioning between strings. His tone was warm and golden. From the quietest passages to the third movement Grand Trepak, his technical skill was breathtaking. The first movement cadenza was brilliantly virtuosic. Pouliot has an engaging presence while playing, and even during periods where he was resting he was obviously enjoying the music. In response of the thrilling performance of the first movement, the audience rose to its feet with applause, as they did again at the conclusion of the work. Pouliot thanked the audience with an encore, his own arrangement of the haunting Irish tune, The Last Rose of Summer. The second half of the concert featured two works by Ottorino Respighi. A late Romantic composer mostly known for three of his tone poems, he was prolific and his music is characterized by brilliant orchestrations and wonderful melodies. He also never shied away from employing very large orchestral forces. From the stage, conductor Falletta described Respighi's music as cinematic, an apt description. The 1916 Fountains of Rome, probably the composer's most famous work, describes four of the Eternal City's fountains, each at a different time of the day. The third section, the Trevi Fountain at Noon, is a spectacular display of the composer's grasp of large orchestral sound paintings, including chest-rattling low notes from the organ, with the sound of two harps fluttering above. The even grander 1924 Pines of Rome followed. Here, the composer depicts pine trees in four locations across Rome, again at different times of the day. It is remarkable for the inclusion of a recording of nightingales in the Pines of the Appian Way section. In the wonderful acoustics of the Holland Center, the stereo recording of the birds had them singing while flying slowly above the orchestra. The finale movement, The Pines of the Appian Way, is march-like and it builds to a grand finale, punctuated by the percussion. To augment the orchestra, Falletta positioned a brass sextet in the second balcony of the auditorium, a strategy that added even more excitement and drama to the finale. Respighi's music highlights the sections of the orchestra in different passages. This spotlight showcased the skill of the Omaha musicians, with the violins sounding particularly smooth and silky. The woodwinds were also a standout, and the French horn section was notably strong and precise. This concert by the Omaha Symphony, conducted by Joanne Falletta, with violin soloist Blake Pouliot, was a reminder of the power of a well-disciplined symphony orchestra playing music that is designed to dazzle, and dazzle it did. The program and performance were, indeed, transcendent.